to another episode of Sit and Spin with me, your host Joe. With me again today, Norm the Drowsy Bionic Dog, who, if you remember, was not here last week because he was having some issues with his tummy and stuff. My wife Lisa, who is a vet tech, brought him into her job, and unfortunately the news we got back was not great. Norm, we found out, has a tumor in his gastrointestinal region, which is causing the problems. And it's cancerous, which often happens with dogs of Norm's age. And it sucks, but it is what it is. And even though it's the kind of thing that can be treatable with medicine and surgery, it's not likely that the surgery would necessarily buy him any more time than we may already have with him. So our goal right now is to make him as happy and comfortable as we possibly can, and going and doing invasive surgery would not be making him comfortable by any means, aside from the fact that, like I said, may not buy us that much more time with him anyway. So goal for now is just to make Norm as happy, as comfortable as we possibly can, and have him be our co-host and be with us as long as he possibly can be that. But turn the mood back around and bring it back up a little bit. That's not why you're here. You're here to find out about some groovy new music. And much like last year when we had two great indie rock stars get together and form a new band project, Minor Alps, which was Juliana Hatfield and Matthew Cause and Not a Surf, which was one of my favorite releases last year. Similarly, we have a new release from two other indie rock stars getting together, a guy and a girl. And that would be the new release from The Both, which consists of Ted Leo on vocals and guitar, Ted from Ted Leo and the Pharmacist, as well as the Spinanes, as well as having a solo career of his own right, and Aimee Mann on vocals and bass from Till Tuesday, and also having a fairly successful long-running career in her own right. Their great new record was recorded in LA and issued on Mann's own Super Ego imprint. It's produced by Paul Bryan, who's a member of Mann's band, performs a number of instruments on the album, and drums were handled by Scott Seaver on the record, but on tour it's Matt Mayall who's doing the drumming, so it's kind of almost more of a trio on tour, super trio rather than super duo. The two initially met while touring together back in 2012, formed a bit of a mutual admiration society that is. And the initial seed of that was the song you're hearing right now, a song called The Gambler, which Ted had written and was kind of performing a little bit back there, and Amy's like, I'd really like to play bass on that song. Ted similarly thought, man, this is a great tune that maybe Aimee would want to play on, and so it progressed from there to come up with this great new record for The Both. The two trade off vocals on the album generally, or just harmonize together extremely expertly well, interweaving their voices. Really, really nice. They complement each other very well. And it's a great record. The songs of the album kind of meander from good upbeat rockers like this song, Milwaukee, which is the first single on the album, and it's just great, super great, catchy power pop style, hooks galore, and Thin Lizzy-like guitars, which is a big plus in my book, anything Thin Lizzy, and as well as for Ted Leo too, a huge Thin Lizzy fan himself. And because of that, the band also go deep into Thin Lizzy's catalog, all the way back to their first album, and record the song Honesty Is No Excuse, to do a really sweet cover on this record of that song. The rest of the album is a mixture of ballads, mid-tempo songs, and upbeat rockers like Milwaukee here. I really like the whole thing. You can't go wrong with any of it. Song's Paper, it's really great. You Can't Help Me Now is kind of a mid-tempo, moody ballad I like a lot. The Prisoner is really good. It reminds me of Mann's husband, Michael Penn, reminds me of a lot of his solo work. Hummingbirds has some really nice guitar touches on it, as well as being kind of a downturn ballad. And I also really like Bedtime Stories, which was written in memoriam of the late Scott Miller from the Loud Family and Game Theory, who was the one who initially brought the two to each other's attention and got them together in the first place. But it is a superb little album from a super duo, and the two just really bring out the best of each other. They really sound like they've reinvigorated each other, just sparking off each other really well. And I have to admit, like, I've been vaguely familiar with Ted Leo's stuff before it. I've heard some of it, but just never anything I really took more than a time to have a passing interest in. But this record's definitely made me want to go check out more of it, so that's a plus right there. And man, I've been a fan of her stuff since the Till Tuesday days, and, you know, very much followed her solo career over the years, but some of that's always been kind of hit or miss for me. Hey buddy, how's it going? But just great stuff. This record, just like I said, just awesome combination, collaboration between the two. The Both, self-titled release, out now. It came out last month, actually, but I just finally had a chance to get around to it. But that's what I got for you this week. What's coming next week? I don't know. Like I said, got a bunch of stuff to talk about still, that's pretty good. as far as having a drought like last year. But something good, something groovy. Might be something new that hasn't come out yet. Might be something that just came out, or it might be something like this that I've been sitting on for a little while. But thanks on behalf of me, thanks on behalf of Northern Drowsy Biotic Dog. We'll miss him while he's gone. And thank you for tuning in and watching the show. Hopefully you are also catching my good friend Scott over at Righteous Vinyl, as well as the riff of the day, guys. And until next week, we'll see you then on Sit and Spin. Take it easy. Go out and pick up the bowl. Rock. Good rock. See you then. You don't really get to see it, but he really does actually love me because he's sleeping all the time, but he really does like doing these shows. When he sees me gathering up all the stuff to come down to the music room to do it, he gets all excited and can't wait to get down here. He's all happy and smiles as much as dogs can smile. But his favorite thing in the world is just to be next to me, or like Celeste, or just next to us. Then he's comfortable and happy. So this is what makes him happy. This is what we're going to do until we can't do it anymore.